Hello, I'm Lord Jimsicle, and you're watching You Have Issues, a programme all about comics. As I'm more of a DC reader than Marvel, I decided to consult Ellie from YouTube comic show Talk Comix to help me out with the Marvel story that I'm reviewing today.
Ever thought that people closest to you aren't quite who they seem? In life, you do find that people behave out of character occasionally, but you wouldn't question it to the same amount that the Marvel characters do in the story we're reviewing today. We are, of course, talking about Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was a 2008 crossover storyline in which the Skrull Empire, a race of shape-shifting aliens, infiltrate Earth by replacing the heroes of the Marvel Universe with intent to conquer the planet. Written by Brian Michael Bendis and drawn by Lionel Francis Yu, among others, this is a crucial story in the Marvel Universe that pitted pretty much all the heroes and villains of Earth against each other through sheer panic and paranoia due to mass suspicion of who is and who isn't a Skrull.
This story continues the theme of distrust amongst the heroes of the Marvel Universe that was previously shown in 2007 story Civil War, in which a superhuman registration act is passed and caused a huge divide amongst Earth's superheroes, resulting in severe casualties on both sides. Despite Secret Invasion being an incredibly successful storyline, not many people realise that Marvel have actually done it before. The first attempt at a Secret Invasion plot was published in Rom the Space Knight back in the 80s. The premise is quintessentially the same, though despite the Skrulls having first appeared in the second issue of Fantastic Four back in 1962, it's not them who feature in this story. It's actually a race of aliens called Dire Wraiths, who can also shapeshift, but with the added bonus of being virtually undetectable. Despite Marvel no longer having the rights to publish Rom, the story is still in canon, and the Dire Wraiths still occasionally make appearances in other Marvel publications, and it was even later revealed that they are actually evolutionary offshoots of the Skrulls.
If you've not read the cosmic story Annihilation, I'm about to divulge the conclusion of that story as it's heavily connected to Secret Invasion, so there will be spoilers. The Secret Invasion was triggered by the destruction of the Skrull Empire during the Annihilation storyline. It began with Skrull Princess Varanki planning the mass invasion by studying Earth's heroes in order to infiltrate their ranks successfully. Action-packed isn't enough to describe this story. It has several action scenes in which various teams such as the X-Men, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, the Young Avengers, the New Avengers, and Nick Fury's New Commandos all battling the Skrulls in awe-inspiring bouts. Even heroes and villains alike join forces to thwart the Skrulls. Hey, it's their planet too. Hey Jimsicle, this jump cutting thing's weird, it's putting me off.
Look, just go with it, alright? You'll get used to it, okay? Since the Skrulls have the ability to shapeshift as well as assimilate the subject's powers or skills, this made for some very tense scenes, and the reader is sometimes left unsure who is and who isn't a Skrull. A staple of this series are various scenes where the heroes are trying to distinguish their allies from the Skrulls by relaying anecdotes that only the real person would remember. Like many comic events these days, the main story is always accompanied by a plethora of tie-in books. The story was executed very well in the main title, but I thought the tie-ins weren't particularly good. However, I'm going to hand you over to Chris, who's going to tell you about what was happening during the Secret Invasion on our side of the pond, in good old Blighty. Chris.
Thank you guys. Meanwhile, in Britain, the Skrulls plan to attack in order to take something that us Brits apparently have a lot of. Magic! They do this in order to tip the balance in their favour in their conquest of Earth.
So Gordon Brown calls in the big boys to sort this out, and a new team is formed there and then, consisting of British heroes.
God, I wish I could see that on the BBC News.
We have Captain Britain, protector of the British Isles, Pete Wisdom, government agent and mutant, Spitfire, upper-class speedster and sometime vampire, Black Knight, former Avenger, and John the Skrull, alien refugee and Beatles enthusiast. They are joined by new hero, Faiza Hussein, a doctor of Islamic origin from London who is only just discovering her powers.
Eventually, Britain is overrun with Skrulls, and it's just too much for our team to take, especially since one of its most powerful and important members has just been defeated.
This, and with the realization that the Skrulls have obtained various magic talismans and totems, managing to harness Britain's magic for themselves, force the team into something a tad rash. Pete Wisdom calls for an audience with Avalon, a realm of mystical and supernatural beings, to ask them for help in Britain's moment of great need.
Wish they do, and an all-out war with the Skrulls follows.
The sword Excalibur plays a big part in all of this, and its purpose is not revealed until later on in the story.
In the end, the team was successful in their part to play in thwarting this invasion, but unfortunately they do have some casualties, some fatal. But if you want to know who, you'll just have to read it yourself. Back to you guys.
Thanks. Interestingly enough, the effects of the Secret Invasion are still being felt in the Marvel Universe even years after the event. Many characters would still occasionally question their allies as to whether or not they are Skrulls.
Not only that, the conclusion to the Secret Invasion led directly into the Dark Reign storyline, where S.H.I.E.L.D. was disbanded and Norman Osborn is appointed Director of Hammer, and his group of Thunderbolt agents are reformed as a new incarnation of the Avengers. The Secret Invasion has been adapted in media beyond the pages. Several episodes of the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, depict events based on the Secret Invasion, most notably in Season 2. While it's not a direct adaptation, it still carries over many of the same themes and is just as enjoyable as the original story.
The Avengers Battle for Earth is a newly released video game that borrows heavily from the Secret Invasion storyline. I've not yet played it, but so far it looks pretty good. It was released for the Xbox 360 and the Wii U, but not on PS3. Thanks a f***ing bunch, Marvel and Ubisoft. Thank you for watching this crossover episode of You Have Issues, and I'd also like to thank Ellie for co-presenting with me.
And check out this logo if you want to follow us on YouTube as well. So, here are the fill-in-the-blanks entries from last episode. And now, here's this episode.